welcome back to 4th and Troll Fantasy.
Ladies and gentlemen, 4th and Trollers, welcome back to 4th and Troll Fantasy, the most entertaining fantasy football show on the planet. And I'm Wes Selby. And again, Noah's not here. He's not here for the week. He quit. He didn't quit. He's just not here. Okay? Please stop asking. Subscribe. You'll see him next week. Okay? I know you like him more, but this is fine. We can do this. That's all right. Here we go. We're talking about studs for the final week of the fantasy regular season for 2025. Are you clinging to a thread of hope to make playoffs? You're in the right spot. Are you trying to get just the first seed overall, trying to get a bye week? This is still going to help you. Are you just a really good sport because you've already been eliminated and you just really want to make sure you take down someone to keep them from playoffs? Because if you can't make playoffs, no one else should. We love you. You're our favorite type of player. Okay, here we go. Let's get into this. But before we do, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you share this with your aunt. Let us know how your aunt is doing. Is she doing good? She's a wonderful person. We're big fans of your aunts, all of them. Lovely people. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. If you didn't watch last week's video, I asked the same thing. If you had a good Thanksgiving. I still want to see comments how your Thanksgiving was. Okay, studs. This is it. Make or break. This is literally make or break for some of you. And I don't take that lightly. And I mean this with all due respect, with all seriousness. I'm going to help you get into playoffs this video. You understand? Let's do this. Again, a little clarity. Noah does our little graphics and videos, so welcome back, okay? Noah's got it. Noah's doing much better than I did last video, so enjoy the pretty visuals this time. He's editing now. Okay, here we go. Daniel Jones is my stud quarterback for Week 14 to help you get into playoffs. Danny Dimes, Indiana Jones, however you want to call him, he has been solid. Not amazing, but he's been solid, and that is something I'm going to accept because when you want to ensure safety, security, a good floor, someone that's not going to let you down. If that's all you need, Daniel Jones is the guy to go with. Now, start out the year super hot. I mean, he was scoring 25, 30 points a couple of games in a row. He was getting into the conversation as like a top 5 quarterback most weeks. Well, he sort of dipped, okay? Kind of look at the schedule since week 9, under 20 points, bye week, 20 points, 20 points. And that's great. If you want to make sure you have a quarterback that's not going to let you down, look no further than Daniel Jones up against the Jacksonville Jaguars, who have allowed a wonderful amount of points to quarterbacks, especially to someone that has the rushing upside like Daniel Jones. He hasn't been using his legs as much, but I will say, I think that might change this upcoming week because we've seen the last 2 games, Jonathan Taylor, potential MVP, not quite the MVP we've seen the first half of the season. I think people have finally realized we should try to stop him. And look how that's turned out. 2 losses in a row. How about that? So Daniel Jones thinks he's going to put his team on his back this week, help you make the playoffs. And just for NFL context, this is battle for first place in the AFC South, okay? Jacksonville Jaguars just took first place in the AFC South. So this is an important game. This is one that's going to be really good for your fantasy matchup. Let's talk about the running back stud. For me, someone that Noah and I were very excited about going into the season. There were some complications. We didn't put him in our top 10, but we saw some good upside. Then he just exploded onto the scene, and then we just hit a low. And I wasn't sure if we were going to be able to say that he was a stud again this season, but oh, trollers, we're back. Quinshon Judkins is my stud for Week 14 against the Tennessee Titans. What I saw in a blowout loss to the 49ers is that Kevin Stefanski says, no matter who's under center, that ball is going to Judkins, okay? 23 carries plus an additional 3 receptions. That's close to 30 touches in a blowout game, okay? That's unheard of unless your name is Derrick Henry. And this is the kind of player that Judkins is going to be. He's taking direct snaps, wildcat formation at the goal line so he can get the rushing touchdown. Shedeur Sanders, Dylan Gabriel, whoever it's going to be. I know that Stefanski said that Shedeur is going to start again for the Titans, which is going to be a fun matchup. Cam Ward versus Shedeur Sanders. That's kind of what we thought we were going to see. at some point, but we thought for different teams, yada, yada. You know that story. Here's where I'm going to see is Judkins is going to be a top 5 running back on the week. I can't think of a better running back. There goes my light. A better running back to start if you had any reservations than Quinshon Judkins. Put him in your lineup, and we'll see you in the postseason. That's how confident I am. Now, for some of you, that may be redundant, may be obvious, but hey, I had Chase Brown and Breece Hall, and I was starting them over Quinshon Judkins, who was doing fine, but now I am starting Judkins for the chance to take the bye week. In the one league, I've got Judkins. Okay, so wide receivers. A lot of players we can talk about here, a lot of options, some ups and downs, people that have been disappointing the last few weeks, players that have been a little bit hot. You want to know if they're going to stay hot. A lot of players we can talk about. You can let us know in the comments or join our Discord if you want to ask more questions about the wide receivers. The one stud I'm going to mention is going to be the same game as my quarterback stud. It's going to be Jakobi Meyers. Stud. Because that's how Trevor Lawrence works. It's the guy you least expect, and most importantly, it's never, ever going to be Brian Thomas Jr. That is a fact. That is a fact. I've never been so disappointed to be right about a fantasy take. Noah and I were absolutely just bashing Brian Thomas Jr. Like, no way this guy's going to be top 10. And even without the injuries, Trevor Lawrence is looking anybody else's way. And right now, the hot name for the wide receivers is going to be Jakobi Meyers, who is proving to be right now the number one option for the Jaguars as a wide receiver. And I think it's going to continue again with this Colts game that I suspect is going to be a shooter. I think it's going to be one of the best fantasy implicating games, if that's how you say that. Most fantasy implications could be here in this Week 14 final regular season game matchup. Colts, Jaguars, there you have it. You're going to be excited about playing guys from this game, except for Brian Thomas Jr. Okay, last guy we're going to talk about here, tight end. It's tough, isn't it? It's tough trying to pick out who the tight end stud is. You can say anybody of them is a dud, and you're probably right. Who's the stud? Who's going to be the guy that I am going to say, you want to make playoffs? You want to ensure that you're going to make playoffs with this single game? You're win in, or you need to win and you need another team to lose. Who could be the tight end? You look at the matchup. You look at who's playing the Cincinnati Bengals. And I'm going to say Dalton Kincaid is the stud tight end of the week. He will be healthy, trollers. He was a game-time decision against the Steelers. Didn't need to use any wide receiver. In fact, Josh Allen made sure of that. They just ran. James Cook had like 150 yards on the ground. It was phenomenal. But they're going to need to throw. They're going to need to throw a lot against a Joe Burrow, that offense. And Dalton Kincaid is the tight end for against a defense that has allowed the most points to tight ends. Let's book it. Dalton Kincaid, top 3 on the week. I just decided that because I want to really instill the confidence I have in the first-round draft selection from the Buffalo Bills 2 years ago, who could and should be the number one option, but instead they're just running, but not this week. Not this week. Here we go, trollers. Let us know if you have any more questions. You go to the comments. You let us know. Better yet, go to our Discord. You can hang out with us there. And you can ask us any questions about anything. Say hello to your aunt for us. She's lovely. We miss her. We hope she has a great holiday season. And that's going to be it for this video. Stick around next time for our duds for the final week. Who could lose your chance to make the playoffs? That's it. I'm Wes Selby. See you next time. This has been 4th and Troll Fantasy.